Do you ever just purposely blurt something out, maybe to friends or family or whatever, just so that somebody has it on the record that you're going to commit to something? And I mean really commit to it? Well, here we are. Good morning to you. Good Monday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Steelers. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into hockey and or baseball, I also offer daily shots of Penguins and Pirates, the other two teams in town that I cover. I hope you'll check out those programs as well. Training camp opens, technically speaking, with reporting date Friday. The first practice is Thursday, both of those occurring, of course, at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. But as of today, at the conclusion of this segment of this program, you will never hear me or read me refer to Pro Football Focus ever again. I'm done. I'm out. O-U-T-T out. And it's not a protest. It's not a boycott. It's because I can't take them remotely seriously. Not necessarily for the reasons that you think, though. And I hope that you hear me out on this, because I guarantee you there's going to be some who misunderstand this. To start, yesterday, PFF put out on Twitter a graphic that's labeled, and I'm reading it directly, top defensive linemen in the NFL. And it has a list of 11 players. I'm going to read these to you. Well, I'm going to read them to you from 1 till TJ Watt. 1, Myles Garrett, act surprised. 2, Micah Parsons. 3, Chris Jones of the Chiefs. 4, Nick Bosa. 5, Dexter Lawrence of the Giants. 6, TJ Watt. 6, all right? So when I say that I'm with PFF, what most people are going to hear is that I'm sore about the way they've treated TJ for a long time, or even that I don't appreciate, which, by the way, I don't, how overvalued their statistics appear to be when it comes to determining major awards, including Defensive Player of the Year. I believe that a lot of the voting has just gotten lazy and research-free, and people will just look at what PFF does and they go, oh, look, Garrett's up there. He must be the best. I'm going to vote for him. But this isn't about that either. Let me tell you the part that bothers me. See, I've covered baseball. I've covered the Pirates here in Pittsburgh for 20 years. This is, in fact, my 20th year on that particular beat. And I've watched the spurt and the growth and the maturation of advanced analytics in baseball. And I am here to tell you that it has no peers. Football, specifically, is only beginning to get there. It's awesome that it is. I welcome it. I love, in particular, the next-gen stats. I love some of the information that can be accrued from terrific independent websites such as Football Outsiders. If you haven't seen that, find it and bookmark it. It's good stuff. But I also know that in baseball, those types of environments, the advanced analytical environments, weren't out there. Ooh, what's a non-vulgar word for this? It's too early in the morning to be throwing vulgar words at you. Well, let's just say selling themselves off the way PFF does on social media. This graphic that I just described for you was placed on the X app, the former Twitter, for no visible reason other than to tick off Steelers fans. They know what they're doing. They know how to get engagement. They know how to get replies and likes and quote tweets. And they know because Steelers fans are going to be mad, their algorithm is going to go through the roof. Sorry if I'm boring you with some of this technical stuff, but I know how social media works because we use it a lot at DK Pittsburgh Sports. And that is the key to making sure that something goes widespread. So they do that. And then everybody's talking about PFF, including, by the way, fans of other teams, since they cover all 32. And what do you know? It's tantamount to free advertising. through ticking off Steelers fans. And most unfortunately, at the expense of TJ Watt getting accolades that he absolutely deserves, and by the way, would have received in any other era that wasn't dominated by PFF, which is owned by Chris Collinsworth, based just outside Cincinnati, and known to skew heavily toward not just the Bengals, but to both Ohio teams. And that is a garbage way to do business. That's a garbage way, in particular, to set up an analytics company which is supposed to be founded and rooted in every way on objective study. And without objective study, it's worthless. And thus, I've come full circle. Because it's worthless, I find no value in it. And thus, I am done. And when we come back, J1Q. Luxembourg, Garbett, Kelly & George, LGKG, is a personal injury law firm in Western Pennsylvania that represents people hurt in car accidents or who need help with workers' comp or medical malpractice. When the attorneys at LGKG make you a promise, they keep it. They've been keeping promises in our region for over 80 years. LGKG's been AV rated, the highest rating a law firm can receive, and they've been designated super lawyers. That's actually a thing for over 15 years. It's a rare combination. LGKG has offices in Cranberry, Newcastle, Beaver Falls, Butler, and Elwood City. Learn more about them by visiting lgkg.com or by calling 888-842-5454. LGKG. Today's J1Q comes from Jonathan. It's perfect to get us going on training camp week. And Jonathan says, DK, every year a player breaks through and surprises us, and every year a player doesn't live up to expectations. Who do you think will be the surprise, and who will be the disappointment at St. Vincent? Well, for one thing, John, to start off, I think it's more than one in both categories, but I think you're trying to take it easy on me instead of having me list a bunch of names, is just to go for one in each category. I'm going to do these in the order that you bring up. I'm going to say that the surprise of camp, and by this, of course, we're referencing a pleasant surprise, will be Roman Wilson. I believe in his skill set. I believe in his drive. I believe he's got a little bit of an edginess about him. And maybe that's something that had been known in college, but it's something that I witnessed both on and off the field in the summer workouts this year on the South Side. I feel as if he's going to be a fine fit for the Arthur Smith offense in the sense that he's also going to seal his block and he's going to do it with some bite to it. I could see him maybe getting caught up in one of those scrambles or tussles in camp that always make headlines. But I also could see him catching the football. And man, you know, for all we talk about wide receiver this, wide receiver that, go get this guy, go get that guy, why are you sitting on all this money, Omar Khan? Nothing could shut all of us up, myself included, like Wilson being that surprise of camp. The disappointment, you know, I think I'm going to get my head bitten off for this one. But when I use the term disappointment, I try to use it in its most literal possible application, meaning I was hoping for this, but I instead got this. That's disappointment for me. It doesn't mean that the player performs badly or stinks or whatever. It just means I really wanted it to be here. And instead, it's like down here somewhere. That player for me is going to be Russell Wilson. And here's why I say this. And I would just dearly love to be wrong. So don't think I'm wishing anything or whatever here, okay? But here's why I say this. I feel as if most of the Steelers fan base is thinking of Russ as what he was in Seattle when we saw the unstoppable, moving all over creation, using the entire field as his canvas type of quarterback versus the one who was in Denver last season, the one who threw sideways way too often, the one who ran himself into trouble way too often. Yes, he can still occasionally put that touch on the ball and make things happen, including deep, and he's effective in the red zone. He has a lot of positive attributes. Again, I'm not here to bury the guy. I'm just saying that I think from what a lot of people are expecting or hoping to see from him, it's not going to be that. Now, can the Steelers still win with that? Sure they can. But I also feel like a more moderate expectation might help things along. He's not that same guy. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everyone listening to Daily Shot of Steelers. Tomorrow is the 10th anniversary of DK Pittsburgh Sports as a media company. We're having a bash. I'll call it a bash. We're going to open our doors. Whoever comes in and says hello, we're going to say hello at 224 Fifth Avenue downtown, home to our headquarters and shop. We would love to be able to say hello. So by all means, feel free to stop in and do exactly that. In the interim, we'll have another one of these shows tomorrow.